Welcome to Wisdom and Wealth. In today's video, we're going to be pondering a question that has likely crossed your mind more than a few times as you've navigated life's journey. What truly matters the most? Is it the grand gestures, those significant milestones that punctuate our existence? Or is it something far more subtle, something easily overlooked in the hustle and bustle of our daily routines? Are we defined by the seismic shifts or the barely perceptible nudges along the way? What resonates deeper, the mountaintop experiences or the gentle currents of everyday life? Believe it or not, the answer to this timeless question lies in the often underestimated power of the little things. So consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel if you enjoy. The seemingly insignificant details, those tiny, almost invisible actions, decisions, and moments, collectively shape our lives in profound ways. Whether good or bad, these small things can have a ripple effect, creating significant changes over the long haul. Let's take a simple example: folding laundry. It might seem like a mundane, even tedious chore. Many people dislike it, opting instead to toss clean clothes into a pile in their room. But what happens if we consistently neglect this little task? Day by day, the pile grows, eventually consuming a significant amount of space and creating a sense of disorder. By the end of the week, you're faced with a mountain of laundry, requiring a considerable chunk of time to sort, fold, and put away. This seemingly small act of procrastination leads to a larger, more stressful task, not to mention the added anxiety of entering a cluttered space. So, what caused that stress and wasted time? It wasn't the inherent difficulty of folding laundry, but rather the accumulation of neglecting a series of small, manageable tasks. Now, imagine a different scenario. You dedicate just 5 minutes each day to folding your laundry and neatly putting it away. This small act requires minimal effort and time. What's the result? A tidy room, a sense of order, and the absence of laundry-related stress. It's a simple example, but it perfectly illustrates the power of consistently focusing on the little good things in our lives. Remember to consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. The Buddha wisely said, "Do not neglect the little merits that you collect, thinking that, oh, this won't give me any consequences or any results." This is profound advice that can guide us through our lives. Even as drop-by-drop water is collected in a pot, one day that pot will overflow with water, eventually filling the entire container. Similarly, the little good things that we accumulate in our daily lives can lead to a life overflowing with goodness and positive karma. Think about the small acts of kindness we often overlook: giving food to a pet, sharing a meal with a family member, offering a kind word to a stranger. These may seem like insignificant gestures, but when accumulated daily, they create a reservoir of good karma that profoundly impacts our lives. These tiny acts of kindness, often unnoticed, contribute to a life rich in positive actions and karmic rewards. Likewise, it's important to acknowledge the impact of small bad habits that we often overlook. Consider anger, for instance. We might dismiss occasional outbursts as normal, an inevitable part of life. However, if we consistently succumb to anger, it can quickly become a deeply ingrained habit, ultimately shaping us into more angry and reactive individuals. Therefore, it's crucial to pay attention to both the little good things and the little bad things in our lives, because they can create a significant impact in the long run. Don't forget to consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. So, focus on the small acts of goodness, perform them consciously and thoughtfully, and strive to create a life filled with happiness and well-being. Now, welcome back to another video. In our previous discussion, we explored the profound impact of seemingly small changes and how those minor shifts can lead to substantial transformations in our lives. In essence, we established that the little things truly matter the most. In this video, I'm excited to share with you 3 simple daily practices that can profoundly impact all of our lives. When practiced consistently, they will help you in many aspects of your existence. So, without further ado, let's dive into these transformative practices. The first practice is to cultivate gratitude. It's far too easy to become discontent with our lives, focusing on what we lack rather than appreciating what we have. Many of us are in the habit of thinking, "My life is terrible," or "I'm worthless." However, by consciously practicing gratitude, we can shift our perspective and cultivate a sense of appreciation for the blessings in our lives. As a first step, make it a habit to be grateful for the gift of life itself. Each morning, as you awaken, take a moment to close your eyes and silently affirm, "I am grateful for the life that I have been given." Acknowledge and appreciate the very fact that you are alive, with all the possibilities and potential that life holds. Furthermore, be grateful for every experience, both positive and challenging, that life has presented to you. Recognize that these experiences, both good and bad, have shaped you, strengthened you, and taught you invaluable lessons. The second step in cultivating gratitude involves expressing appreciation for the people who surround you. Consider the impact that others have had on your life, both those who have provided support and those who have presented challenges. Acknowledge that everyone who has crossed your path, whether for good or bad, has played a role in shaping who you are today. There are people in your life who have gifted you with wonderful memories. And there are those who have taught you invaluable lessons. Be grateful for everyone, regardless of their impact on your life. This simple practice of gratitude can be incredibly transformative. So take a few moments to consciously acknowledge and appreciate the blessings in your life. The second practice is to cultivate mindfulness throughout your day. Even a few moments of focused attention can have a significant impact on your well-being. Dedicate 5 or 10 minutes to being fully present in the moment, whatever you are doing. To practice mindfulness, it's not necessary to sit in a particular posture or engage in formal meditation. Simply focus your mind on the task at hand. For example, if you are walking, be fully aware of the sensation of your feet on the ground, the movement of your body, and the sights and sounds around you. Pay attention to the details of the experience. Alternatively, find a quiet and relaxed place to sit, either in a chair or in a traditional meditation posture. Focus on your breath, paying attention to the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. This simple act of focusing on your breath can help to calm your mind and bring you into the present moment. The final practice that can significantly improve your life is to cultivate positive self-talk. It's easy to fall into the trap of negative self-criticism, dwelling on our perceived flaws and shortcomings. We can find ourselves thinking, "I'm the worst, I don't have any value in this life," or "nobody loves me." The more we engage in this negative self-talk, the more ingrained it becomes, shaping our inner personality and clouding our perception of ourselves. Instead, we can take time each day to engage in positive self-talk. Remind yourself of your worth, affirm your value, and express gratitude for the life you have. Tell yourself, "I am worthy of love, I am worthy of living, and my life is great." Believe in your potential and acknowledge your capabilities. Recognize that you are capable of achieving more and being more productive than you currently are. Always believe in yourself and your ability to grow and improve. Positive self-talk has the power to transform your mindset and empower you to achieve your full potential. And you know how important it is to believe in yourself. Practice these simple practices daily, and transform your life into something better. You know, quotes are very powerful. They are simple and yet they have powerful meanings and they easily get stuck in your mind. So when we go through tough times in life, when we go through problems, they help us immensely. So that is why it is important to keep in memory some motivational and inspirational quotes. Here is a quote from the Buddha that has helped me at times in my life, and it changed my whole perspective about how we should deal with the people in the society. The Buddha says, "All under another's control is suffering. All under your control, what is under your control, is a blessing for your life. The one who expects this world to be equal to everyone and to fail to everyone, he will end up stressed." And finally, he says to escape from the bonds from this world and these expectations and attachments from this world is a very, very tough task. This is the powerful quote that changed the perspective about the society in my life, because Buddha says what is under others' control is suffering. Because in life we are so busy trying to control what is not under our control. What are the things that are not under your control? People's reactions, people's criticisms, and how people behave in front of you, how people think of you, what happens to you in the future. All these things are not under your control. The Buddha says all that is not under your control is suffering, so do not try to change it and do not worry about it because you will end up in suffering. And in the second line, the Buddha says all that is under your control is a blessing for your life. It is very important to know what is under your control. What are the things that are under your control? Everything, every experience that happens to you, is not under your control, you know it now. But the reaction toward the every experience is under your control. People come and will trigger you to be angry. People can try to make you angry, but you have to make the choice to be angry, so that choice is under your control, you made that choice. So your thoughts, how you think, your thought patterns, your habits, everything that is personal in your life, is under your control. If you can do something about it, do it, go for it and change it. Then you can find peacefulness and happiness, so it is important to know what is under your control and what is not, then you can live happily in this world. In the third line the Buddha says the one who chase behind the fairness and the ones who expect this world to be fair and equal will end up stressed. You see, this world is built upon unfairness. If you want to make this whole world fair and equal, you will not get that result, so that is why if you expect that everything to be fair, you will end up stressed. That is what the Buddha says, and it is very difficult to escape from all these attachments and bonds toward this world because when you get too much attached to something, you know what happens, you will end up in suffering. These quotes have helped me in my life at times, so I think it will be helpful for you too. So keep these quotes in your mind and use them whenever you go through tough times in your life. Consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Welcome back to Wisdom and Wealth. In today's video, I'm going to address a question that was submitted through our comments section. One of our viewers shared that their exams are approaching, specifically the final exams. They expressed feeling overwhelmed with stress and tension, resulting in a lack of motivation to study. They concluded their message with a request for help, accompanied by a sad emoji. I am so passionate about answering these kinds of questions. In this video, I want to share with you a number of tips and techniques that you can implement in your daily life to manage test taking and also any kind of stress during challenging times. Let's remember that exams are not the only things that make us feel stressed. Almost all challenges that we face in life make us feel stressed and depressed, and we experience fear. So it is important to remember that stress, fear and tension are common human emotions. That means you are not alone. Everyone, including myself, feels this at times. The first thing that you have to understand is what is within your control and what is not. Let me ask you a question: are the questions that you find on your exam within your control? The answer is, no, they are not. You do not know what questions are going to come. You only know that they will be within the scope of the material that you have learned. What do you need to be concerned with if something is not under your control? If you can do nothing about the questions, it is worth worrying about. Do not worry about what you cannot change. What is within your control? The things that are within your control are exactly the process of getting ready for the exam, studying the material, deciding the amount of hours that you will study, learning effective study habits and focusing on improving your productivity. Since you can do something about these things, there is no need to worry about it. Remember to stay in the present moment. You are so focused on the future or the past. Sometimes you have not studied or done enough work, then you constantly regret what has happened in the past. If you are stressed about the exam, you are constantly thinking about the future. You hardly stay in the present. You must train your mind to stay in the present moment because that is all you own, not the past and not the future. Meditate and engage in mindful exercises to make a good decision to study and to make a change in your life. You must get used to thinking about impermanence. Buddha gives much attention to reflection about impermanence. Whatever feeling you feel now, stress, depression, anxiety, maybe happiness is impermanent and it is going to change. How you feel about the exam is going to change. Remember to be the best that you can be, not the best in class, not the best in school, but to be the best version of yourself. If you try to be the best version of yourself and you give your fullest potential to it, that is more important. You must maintain good communication with your parents, and you can maintain healthy stress and have a good study and life balance. You can say, Mama or Dada, I cannot be the best in school or I cannot take the fullest marks on the exam, but I will give my fullest potential to study and do well on the exam. Your parents will understand this. Finally, be kind to yourself. Some children study hard and do not sleep, do not eat proper food or take proper nutrition, but this will not help you to be productive. You must study and maintain a good health because this will help you to maintain a good mental balance. Understand that the mistakes can happen. Forgive yourself. The exams are not life and there are so many things beyond the exam. Remember that this is not the only challenge that you will face in life. Keep the tips in mind and do these things when you face the exam. I hope that you got some light on this topic. All the best on your exams. Be more productive and live your life happily. What do you think about this? Is forgiveness a weakness and are people who forgive the fools? Let's talk about this. Most people think that forgiveness is a weakness and you should not forgive others, you should hold on to anger and resentment, and you must take revenge. But, if you do not forgive, what are you going to do? You are going to hold on to anger and resentments. The thoughts make you a negative person and they will hurt your mind and your spirituality. This is why we must understand real forgiveness. What is real forgiveness? Most people forgive and let go of anger and they forget the things that others have done and they fall into the same traps of people that used to hurt them, so that is not the correct way of forgiving people. Real forgiveness must be there with wisdom. When forgiveness and wisdom combine together, then you can forgive people truly and correctly. How do you do that? When you forgive people with wisdom, you are not saying it is okay, you hurt me and I'm going to fall into the same traps of you, and I will believe you again and again. That is not the way. You can forgive people, you can let go of anger, you can forget about the hurt that they have done to you, and still you can stay away from their life and their negativity. That is where you combine forgiveness and wisdom. If you forgive like that, then you will never fall into the traps of people that are going to use you. Understand what real forgiveness is. You are not forgiving them really, in reality, you are forgiving you. You are saying no, I'm not going to take this negativity anymore. I'm not going to hold on to this anger and resentment anymore because I love myself and I don't want to hurt myself. I always care about my spiritual development, my good qualities and my thoughts. So when you do that, you can forgive people and stay away from their negativity and their cheatings. That is the way to forgive someone, so practice this and let go of those angry thoughts and resentments in your mind. Remember to consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Welcome back to Wisdom and Wealth. Today I want to discuss with you how we can become more peaceful and how we can calm our minds. Now we know that we are living in a world where we are constantly bombarded with information, with distractions, and the chaos of the day. So what happens when we live in such an environment? We become reactive and we tend to lose our peacefulness, we tend to lose our calmness, and then our frustration, stress, and depression builds. How can we deal with this and what can we do to eliminate these distractions and this constant chatter in our mind and have a peaceful mind in the middle of chaos? Today I am going to share a few tips where you can practice in your daily life and it will be a great help to find peacefulness and calm in the middle of chaos. The first thing that you have to understand is that calmness and peacefulness is not an outer source, it does not come from the outer world. It can be found within, so no matter where you live, what the place that you live, no matter what you do, if you really focus on this calmness and you are clever enough to find that, you will be able to find the calmness and peacefulness in the middle of all the chaos. Always remember, calmness and peacefulness should be built and should be developed within. You have to remember one thing, calmness and peacefulness is not about emptying your mind. When you become calm and peaceful, it does not say that there is nothing in your mind or no thoughts. Thoughts may appear in your mind and there will be lots of thoughts and you will not be reacting to all the stimulations. When the thoughts appear in our mind, we often react to them and we panic. The reason that happens is because we think that thoughts are us, and we tend to think that I am what I think and I am my thoughts, but thoughts are not you. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts are coming and going, and they are like clouds. You are like the sky and your thoughts are like the clouds. There is a huge distance between the sky and the clouds, but we often think that the clouds are the sky. Sometimes when it is raining, or it is moody, we blame it on the sky. We tend to say that the weather is not okay and the sky is always raining, but the sky is not raining, the clouds forms the rain. Same with that, when thoughts appear in your mind, you can take a little step back and think, should I react to this? Should I react upon these thoughts? If an angry thought comes into your mind, what should you do? Pause a little bit and think, should I react to this? You can have time to think about it. It is okay to have thoughts in your mind, but if you want to be peaceful, you should not, and you should choose not to react to those thoughts. There are a few practices where we can do in our daily life to help peacefulness and calmness. Consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. One thing you can do is that you can slow down your body movements for a period of time each day. When you have the time and when you are working alone, maybe you are walking or writing something or studying, try to maintain slow body movements. Our body and mind is highly interconnected. When our thoughts become panicked, our body becomes panicked. In the other way, if we calm down and we slow down our bodily movements, it will be a help to us to slow down the thought process. Then you can take a little time to think about what comes to your mind. There is another great practice that the Buddha told us to do, breathing meditation. When you do breathing meditation, you reduce these loads of thoughts to the in-breath and out-breath. In breathing meditation, we become aware of the breath. It is like condensing your mind. And it is sort of making your mind soft and peaceful and non-reactive. Also, do not judge your thoughts and to be aware of your thoughts. It is like watching traffic pass by the side of the road. You can see the cars, bikes, vans and buses, but you are not going to judge them. You are not going to stop them and you are not going to chase behind them. You sit by the road and you just watch them. Let the vehicles be the vehicles and you be you. In the same way, let the thoughts be the thoughts and you be you. When you become less reactive to your thoughts, you can find peacefulness and calmness in your mind. I hope you got some light from this video. So I hope all of you be well and happy, and may all of you be calm and peaceful forever. Welcome to another Wisdom and Wealth video. Today let's talk about how can we practice Buddhism. Should you become a Buddhist or should you convert to a Buddhist to practice Buddhism? Well, first of all, you have to know and realize what Buddhism is. Buddhism does not have much of a religious aspect. Buddhism should be understood as a practice or way of life, so everyone can practice Buddhism. It is open to everyone. There is no one to force you to practice Buddhism or believe certain things. It is free to practice Buddhism and practice whatever you feel is okay. If you like to practice meditation, if you want to practice generosity, you can do that. And also if you want to practice precepts or living a disciplined life, then you can do that. It has the freedom to practice. You do not need to convert to a Buddhist. In the Buddhist time, there was no person called a Buddhist, there was just people who practiced Buddhist teachings. There is no process of conversion, you can practice and it is free to everyone. Buddha's Dharma has this quality. Come and see. Come learn about this and realize this and see the reality of life. It is open to everyone. Anyone can practice Buddhism. There are no exceptions to practice Buddhism, anyone can do it. So, this is what I have to share today. Practice Buddha's teachings and live a peaceful and wise life. Don't forget to consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today I am at one of the monasteries where it is situated in the hill country of Sri Lanka. If you are visiting Sri Lanka and if you are visiting Ella especially, this is a must-visit place where you can come and do some meditation and talk with the monks and breathe some fresh air. Today, let's talk about breathing meditation. This meditation is one of the most famous meditations in the world, and most of the people do it. How can we do it, and what are the correct ways of doing it? Breathing meditation, the Buddha called it Anapana meditation. Anapana means inhale and exhale. Sati means mindfulness. In this meditation, we become aware of our breathing. How can we do this? Buddha says that you have to come to a seated position and you must make your back straight, and then you close your eyes and become aware of your breath. When you inhale, you become mindful that you are inhaling, and when you exhale, you become mindful that you are exhaling. First, we have to find the place where we feel the breath. Normally, we feel the breath at our nose tip. When we breathe in, we feel the air touching our nose tip, and when we breathe out, we feel the air flowing out. In breathing meditation, we focus our mind and we become aware of this sensation. The only thing that you must do is to be aware of your breathing. You must mindfully breathe in and mindfully breathe out. People find breathing patterns very hard. One of the most frequently asked questions is, should we control our breathing? You can take some breaths intentionally until you feel familiar with your breathing, because most of the time we do not become aware of the way we are breathing. The most important thing is to get used to this meditation. You should not force yourself to do these things. Do not force your mind to do the meditation. The meditations are meant for calmness and peacefulness. You have to feel good doing them. If you force your mind, you will not enjoy the meditation. Sometimes the mind will wander while you are doing the meditation. Forgive your mind and take the mind back to the sensation of the breath. Remember to consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Welcome to another Wisdom and Wealth video. In today's video, let's talk about how to control our negative emotions and our minds. Our mind always likes to wander with the negative emotions and thoughts such as anger, desire or lust, jealousy, maybe resentment. How can we control it? Our teacher, Buddha, introduced us to gradual training to control the negative emotions and thoughts in our minds. First, before we get into these steps, there is one thing that you must do. You must be aware. If you are not aware of what you are thinking, then you cannot control it. You must be totally aware of what you are thinking. Whenever you become aware of what you are thinking, then you will have the power to control it. Here comes the first step. Buddha says whenever you become aware of your mind is wandering in negative thoughts like anger or lustful thoughts or resentment or jealousy, the first thing you should do is to shift your thought pattern to something wholesome. There are wholesome thoughts in your mind that makes you peaceful. Maybe thinking of something that you have done in the past, such as maybe you helped someone. Whenever you think of that thought, your mind becomes happy and peaceful. Whenever you become aware of your negative thoughts, you are going to shift your thoughts to something wholesome that makes us peaceful. If that first step does not work, then you must go to the next step. Buddha says think about the disadvantages of thinking negative emotions. If you are constantly having angry thoughts, then you must think the thoughts are hurting yourself and others. If you take action according to these thoughts, it will hurt yourself and others. It may be a little thought of anger, but if it grows up, it will be destructive. Remember to think about the drawbacks of thinking the negative thoughts, then your mind will tend to stay away from the negative thoughts. Most of the time, we are not aware of the disadvantages. If I keep on thinking these negative thoughts, it will not help me and it will disrupt my peacefulness. That is the second step. The third step is to pay no attention. If the second step does not work, go to the third step and do not pay any attention to the thought. If we give much attention to something, maybe a thought, it grows more. For example, if you became angry with someone and you keep thinking about them and becoming angry, that anger will grow more. What do you have to do? You have to let the thought be a thought without paying much attention. If we just stay away from giving attention, then it will fade away from our mind. If mother or father did not give attention to that baby, then he will stop crying. Same thing goes with our mind. If we do not pay attention to the thought and just let it go, then it will fade away. If the third step does not work, then you must relax your thought process. When you think negative thoughts, your mind becomes so much busy, so much rough and distracted. Why am I thinking these distractive and negative thoughts that are making me so busy and distracted? You are relaxing your thought process to something very soft and subtle, such as loving kindness, compassion, or gratefulness. When you think more positive thoughts, your thought process becomes relaxed. If the fourth step does not work for you, then comes the final step. You must be aware of your thinking pattern and have a good determination to your mind that you are not going to think those negative thoughts. Some may not be good at this, and if you keep on forcing this mind, the negative thoughts will grow more. If all those 4 steps did not work for you, then you must go to the final step. It is much better to practice these 4 thoughts before the final one. Remember to consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Practice these things and you will understand that your negative emotions are fading away. This is not going to happen overnight, and it will take a long time to do this, but you must practice and make it a habit, and then you will become a master of it. So, practice and make your mind a place where it is free from negative thoughts. Namo Buddha. Namabaya. Welcome everyone to another Wisdom and Wealth video. Today, let's talk about something that is really important for all of our lives. If you want to be good at anything such as studying, meditating, or if you are practicing the spiritual path, what is that one quality you must have in your life? It is consistency. Have you ever thought about why we are so good at bad habits and bad things? Bad things like anger, feeling jealousy, or things like procrastination and laziness. Why are we so good at these things? We are so good at these things because we have done it over a long period of time continuously. If you start getting angry again and again every single day, you will be good at it. If you are procrastinating on the things you want to do, then you will be a good procrastinator. One main important quality to be good at anything in this life is consistency. We can use this theory for our own benefit. If you are studying, you have to do it every single day repeatedly, even on the days where you do not feel like doing it. But, if you keep doing it, then you will make a good habit of it. Once you become good at it, then it will be easy. When you practice the spiritual path or meditation, do it again and again. Do not do it here and there and expect results. When you practice loving kindness, you will be good at it, and love, patience, and compassion will be a part of your life. Remember to consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. When you meditate or when you practice, what is the most important thing to have to be good at it? Consistency. Do it on the days when you don't feel like doing it. The most important thing to have is to not judge your progress in your life. We are busy to have quick progress because we are used to this instant world. We can find everything we want on our mobile phones. When it comes to the spiritual practice or skills, it is not easy and it is not instant. You have to do it little by little and expect little progress. Do not judge your improvements. The most important thing is to do it every single day. So, I hope you got an idea about consistency and the value of it. Keep practicing and keep doing these things. Welcome and welcome back to another Wisdom and Wealth video. Today, I want to talk about something really important for all of our lives, especially in these days, the things that we should not speak with others according to Buddhist teachings. You might be thinking that I'm not a Buddhist, so why should I care about these things? These principles can be applied to anyone's life regardless of their religion or belief system. These speeches are called 4 unwholesome speeches. The first one we must stay away from is lying. We have all said white lies. No matter what the lie is, lying is harmful for our lives. It destroys your trust and character. It is important to have trust between people. Remember to live a truthful life. Next, we have divisive speech. Divisive speech is about creating drama between people or creating conflicts between people using your words. It can be gossiping or talking behind someone's back. When you talk these words or use this divisive speech, it is not good for your life or other people's relationships. Buddha said, do not break the relationships between people using your words. We use divisive speech out of jealousy or anger, so it is important to stay away from it. Third, we must stay away from harsh speech. When someone is treating you with rude words, how do you feel? We have all been on the receiving end of such speeches. We felt sad, depressed and down about ourselves. Buddha said, do not use your words to put someone down. Do not use your words out of anger. This is all about criticizing and name-calling and putting someone else down with your words. Finally, we must stay away from idle chatter. Idle chatter is all about speaking meaningless or useless things. We can have small chat or fun talk with people, but we have to know where our limit is in our speech. We have to set boundaries in our speech. We must know when our speech becomes unproductive. When you use your words in a meaningful way, you can create a positive life and feelings in others' lives. Consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Why do these things matter? Words can create either positive or negative karma in our lives. Do not think lightly about this karma. The intention behind your words really matters in your life. So, use our words wisely because it can make a huge impact in our lives as well as others. Words are like a knife. You can use the knife to cut something useful, and you can use a knife to kill someone else. Let's use our words to create a better life for ourselves and others. I hope you got some food for thought for your life. Until next time, I wish you all, may all of you be well and happy, and may all of you live in peace forever.